Rising from the sands of the Arabian desert is a city that seems to defy the limits of imagination. This is Dubai, a place where ambition shapes the skyline and innovation defines everyday life. From towering skyscrapers that pierce the clouds to sweeping highways carved through the desert, this city is a living showcase of what happens when vision meets possibility. Glass, steel, and sunlight come together to form a skyline unlike anywhere else in the world. Yet beneath the modern marvels lies a deep connection to tradition, a city that balances the future with its past, blending old world culture with cutting-edge design. The landscape tells a remarkable story. Endless stands stretch toward the horizon, shaped by time, wind, and tradition. And rising from that ancient foundation is one of the most extraordinary skylines on Earth, a skyline that doesn't just appear upward, but dares to redefine what's possible. Dubai is a city that refuses to stand still. In just a few decades, it has transformed from a quiet trading port into a global crossroads, a place where innovation, culture, and architecture converge. Here, skyscrapers pierce the sky, each one competing not just for the height, but for the identity. Glass, steel, and light reflect the sun in every direction, creating a city that feels alive at every hour of the day. Yet for all its modern marvels, Dubai is a city built on contrast. Beyond the towering skyline lies reminders of the old world. Traditional souks filled with color and movement, winding waterways where wooden dhows still glide across the water, and quiet moments where the deserts remind you that this land has a deep and enduring history. Here, the future doesn't erase the past, it rises alongside it. As we descend towards the city, the scale of Dubai truly comes into focus. Massive highways weave through the urban landscape like arteries, connecting neighborhoods, cultures, and ideas. From the iconic silhouette of the Burj Khalifa to the sweeping curves of the Palm, every structure tells a story of ambition pushed to its limits. This is a place designed to be seen from the sky. A city built not just for those who walk its streets, but for those who arrive from above. This is Dubai, a city that never stops dreaming, never stops building, and never stops looking forward to what comes next.
Heathrow clearance, good afternoon. Shamrock, 24 Juliet Delta, information Foxtrot, pressing IFR clearance to Aberdeen, Dice.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to episode 9 of Around the Globe 2026. Today we are sitting here in London Heathrow. We are about ready to board the 777 in front of us, the American Airlines. We're going to be American Airlines 4523 making our way down to Dubai. And yes, today is the day. Of all the flights that I've been looking forward to in this series, this is the one that I've been looking forward to the most. In my 8 years of doing this hobby, I have never flown into Dubai. So today is the day. Part of the fun in doing this series, and part of the reason I created doing this series, is to get me to fly in regions of the world I otherwise would not fly in. Typically, I usually stick around like the North America, South America. Sometimes I'll do like long hauls over to Europe, but doing this series has really expanded my horizons and gotten me flying into different parts of the world I otherwise would not fly into. So this is the one that I'm really looking forward to. We got that brand new Dubai scenery that this past year in 2025, Laminar research put into the sim. And so we're going to check that out. So once we land into Dubai, we'll taxi to the gate. And once we are all good to go and passengers are deboarding, we'll go ahead and do a little bit of a fly around at the airport. So really great to see that Laminar is starting to put in some custom airport sceneries. It adds a lot. They added Dubai earlier in 2025. They did another airport later on in Spain this fall, Bilbao, and that one is also phenomenal as well. So if you haven't checked that one out yet in the sim and you fly X-Plane 12, be sure to go ahead and do that. It is a much smaller airport, of course, but the level of detail is just as grand. And I flew into there just the other day as I was kind of doing some flights around Europe once I landed into London here after episode 8. So, but today we're flying out of Europe. We're heading down to Dubai. Very excited for this one. And I think what I'm gonna do here is on the edit, I think I'm going to have it so we just are already boarded. Passengers are pretty much ready to go. Hatches will be closed. And that way, when we get down to Dubai, for the sake of time, we'll spend a little bit more time down at the airport doing a little fly around, checking out the scenery. So with that, we'll just, through the magic of editing, we'll just get past the boarding of the passengers and the flight plan being entered in, like we do with every video here in Around the Globe 2026. But I do want to spend some time going through the airports down in Dubai, kind of showcasing the scenery that was put in this past year. So with that, we'll go ahead and jump into the cockpit. All right, and through the magic of editing, here we are in the cockpit. Flight plan has been entered in. Quite the long flight plan, even though we're only going to be a 6-hour flight on down. But lots of waypoints going on into Dubai. So we'll get our hydraulics on. We'll go ahead and request our pushback through Better Pushback, and we'll send those jetways away. And then in just a moment here, we'll go ahead and ask for a pushback clearance.
IFR clearance to Innsbruck. Switching to ground, 121 with 855, speed purchase narrow.
Heathrow ground, American 4523, requesting push and start. So I have the sim currently set to 5:51 in the morning, so I wanted to get that early morning departure here out of Heathrow, which means we'll be landing into Dubai late afternoon, probably around like 4 p.m. I wanted to make sure that the sun was still up, so that way we can check out that amazing scenery that was put in the sim this past year. Also, we want to be able to see that Burj Khalifa off in the distance too, so really looking forward to that. All right, so we got pushback clearance. We're just waiting for the tug to connect. And in just a moment here, we'll go ahead and release the parking brake. I'm just going to adjust some of these lights here, just make sure we're looking good here. We're going to be climbing up to 35,000 feet. That's going to be our initial climb. We probably will do a step climb. We're not too heavy of an aircraft, but we are going to be just starting at 35,000. Depending on how the winds are doing, we should be getting a really nice tailwind the whole way down. I was kind of looking at some flights in the real world that were flying overnight down into the region, and some of them were getting up to about 600 knots of a tailwind. So not 600 knots of tailwind, but 600 knots with the tailwind. And so we may be lucky as well here on this flight to get that same type of wind.
All
right, so parking brake has been released, and we will go ahead and start the pushback. And with that means we can go ahead and go up top and get engine number 2 over to start, and we'll start to see the engine spool up. And then once we reach that 25%, we'll go ahead and introduce that fuel.
Hello everyone, thank you for your attention. It's time to get you ready for takeoff. We know you have lots of choices, so thanks for choosing American. We're happy to be your airline. Now if you'll just follow along with me, we'll be on our way.
Alright, we got with one good engine here for engine number 2. In just a moment, we will do the same here for engine number 1.
Welcome aboard. Before we depart, here are some important safety instructions.
901, we crest, push and start.
First things first, let's buckle those belts. Insert the metal end into the buckle and pull the strap to tighten. To open, simply lift on the top of the buckle. And remember, seatbelts should be fastened whenever you're seated, just in case of unexpected turbulence. To get us on our way, make sure your seat is up, all electronic devices are put away.
Alright, engine number 1 over to start.
If you have a carry-on, push it all the way under the seat in front of you. If it won't fit, place it in the overhead bin. If you have a handheld device, please switch it to airplane mode now. You'll find our full electronic device policy in the back of your American Way. U.S. law prohibits smoking.
And there's 25%. We'll introduce that fuel.
At any time. Tampering with,
Very nice.
disabling, or destroying smoke detectors in the laboratories may result in a fine. U.S. law requires all to comply with lighted and posted signs
And then we're going to be setting our flaps to 5 degrees for takeoff.
Please pay close attention, and before you know it, we'll be on.
Alright, so now those of you who are watching this and are an avid flight simmer, or just aviation enthusiasts in general, you may be saying, why is an American Airlines 777 going from London to Dubai? Now, I totally get it. I understand. You know, this is not a livery that would be flying this route. But however, back in episode 1, if you were around for that episode, we covered this topic, and basically it's just we're kind of taking it on as this is our charter flight around the world. So American Airlines was kind enough to give us a 777 to fly around, and you know, it needs to be a 777 obviously for our long hauls and to take all of you with. So don't mind the livery, but yes, I am well aware as a aviation enthusiast and flight simmer that this is not a real world livery going down in this route, but nonetheless we will be going anyway. So yes, it's just one of those things. I just figured it was probably easier just to instead of me chasing liveries all the time, just to keep it simple and keep with the American Airlines livery throughout. So alright, so let's get this trim set. Looks like we're going to be 3.25, so we'll get that set for takeoff as well. And then we will go ahead and get our taxi light on, runway turn-off lights can come on, wing light can come on, and beacon can also come on here right before taxi. Heathrow ground, American 4523 Heavy, ready to taxi to runway 27 left.
See your safety card. Remove the vest from the package like this. Put the vest over your head, wrap the strap around your waist, attach the buckle, and pull tight. Once outside, pull the tab to inflate your vest or blow into the red tube on the side. In the water, a light on your vest will illuminate. And please, only
alright, so we got our taxi clearance, and it is a short taxi from here over to 27 left, so it will not be very long at all before we are out of here.
And put your arms through the straps found on the opposite side. The crew will now be coming around to do a final cabin check.
Alright, one more time up top here, just making sure everything looks good. Seatbelt signs are on. APU can come off, and then APU can come off there as well. Alright, APU cooldown is starting. Very good. And I think with that, we are ready to taxi. We got our LNAV, VNAV on. And we'll go ahead and release the parking brake. So it's hard to believe that over the last 8 years that I've been doing this hobby, and I would say, you know, seriously, really doing this hobby over the last like 3 or 4 years, but never having flown into the Middle East, basically, it's kind of surprised me. But like I said in the beginning of the video, it's been really the full main reason why I've been wanting to do a series such as this. You kind of like to stick around airports that you know, regions you know, the airlines that you see flying in your home region. You like to fly those as well. one thing that I've really wanted to do is just kind of explore, you know, other airports, other regions of the world. The way that they do approaches in Europe is obviously way different than what they do in America for certain airports. So it's been fun to experience that here as I've been flying around Europe over the past week and a half in between filming these episodes. And you know, now we're going to be in Dubai, and you know, before we fly out of Dubai to our next destination, I'm going to be flying into Kuwait City and Doha and things like that. And I'm curious to see how things like different approaches are done and all of that, and just check out the region. It's just been a lot of fun to learn about these places, obviously in my research for the opens of these videos, but also just when I'm here in the simulator flying the planes and doing different RNAV approaches and ILS approaches and things like that, and even on the departures and checking out the airports and things like that. It's been a lot of fun to kind of to learn about it, right? From in more than one way, and so really, as much as what I hope you guys are getting out of this series, I'm getting just as much out of it as well. So if there's any parts of the world or regions you guys don't see me flying, you know, please send me those requests, and it may make it into the next Around the Globe, because really for me it's all about just expanding my horizons, literally, within the sim, and flying in different regions of the world. Alright, so here we go. We'll check in with Tower. So Heathrow Tower, American 4523 Heavy, holding short runway 27 left, so ready for departure. Go ahead and get our
American 4523
takeoff lights
Heavy,
on.
Heathrow
Strobes
Tower.
can come on.
Say again, please.
She didn't get it. Alright. American 4523 Heavy, holding short runway 27 left, to ready for departure. We'll just kind of creep up toward the line here as we wait. Uh-oh, we may have broke say intentions, chat. I know it's early, but honestly, it's not that early.
American 4523 Heavy, runway 09 right, wind 040 at 3, cleared for takeoff.
Okay, alright, she's giving us a completely different completely different runway than what we were given for clearance. So you know what, in the sake of time and the fact that we're filming, we're gonna go ahead and just take off. We're not on a network, so I think we're just gonna take off out of here. I don't know if that's a glitch or what, but it is possible. Of course, they could have changed runways, but we would definitely not have been given our taxi clearance to this runway. So, all right, we are going to just go ahead and take off out of 27 left. Don't mind us. We'll see how we do on our lineup here. She's a big bird to turn and get straight on this runway and lined up.
On runway 27 left.
All right. I feel like these brakes are very sensitive in this plane. All right, throttles to 40%. Slight forward down pressure on the yoke. And let's go. Off to Dubai. Airspeed is alive. $100 knots. V1 and rotate. she's going to want to climb like crazy, ladies and gentlemen, because we are not a heavy aircraft. Gear up. Nice departure out of London early this morning.
Contact departure on 125.
A little bumpy here.
Easy 295, establish the localizer, flight level south.
Currently climbing about 5,000 feet per minute. We are just an absolute rocket ship coming out of London this morning. We're going to go ahead and dip that nose down though so we can maintain our airspeed. We'll start making our left turn.
Heavy Heathrow radar identified. Climb flight level 060. American 4523, climb flight level 210. Climbing flight level 060. American 4523.
And you can hear our first officer making those radio calls for us right now as we just focus on flying the plane.
Qantas 1, contact Heathrow Tower on 124.48.
I know it may not come across as great on the YouTube compression, but man, on my 1440p monitor right now, these lights look absolutely phenomenal down below me here. Just with like the traffic and the bloom of all the lights on the roadways, it just looks absolutely phenomenal.
Switching to London control on 126 decimals.
Alright, so we're going to continue our turn out here
London control.
as we are heading to our first waypoint.
Good morning. Flight level 060 for flight level 210.
Just continuing to hand fly it right now.
523, London control, climb
Switch
flight
over to
level
standard barrow. That's one thing too, standard barrow is so much lower here in Europe as it is over in North America. Another look down there at those lights, looks phenomenal.
Flight level 330.
Alright, so we'll just go ahead and go direct to our waypoint. We're coming up on 10,000 feet here in just a moment. Give you a nice little passenger view here of London one last time. So we are climbing out. The other day when I was climbing out, I think I was flying London, let's see, I'm not sure where I was going, maybe London to, maybe it was Paris, something like that. Anyway, climbing out, it was the middle of the day and it was just phenomenal. You could see Big Ben off in the distance, the London Eye. You could just see a whole bunch of it. And I'm running default scenery, and the fact that that's all just modeled in there and it's modeled in there so well, it just really shows how great the Laminar team has done here just with that default scenery. Of course, if you use map enhancement, anything like that, it's going to be so much better. But I'd like to keep my sim running vanilla because I figure, you know, the less I have running, because I've got so much running already, that I want to make sure that my flights are completed and not doing anything with like crashing the desktops or anything like that. So it's just kind of how I have always run my sim, and not to say that I won't ever do it. It's just not in the plans anytime soon. All right, landing lights can come off. They should have been off already. We can go ahead and get our logo light off. Wing light can come off. Runway turn-off lights can come off. We'll turn our strobes on, of course. And ladies and gentlemen, we are climbing out of London Heathrow. And we are on our way to Dubai. We've got about 6 hours in front of us. 6 hours, 28 minutes gate to gate. Looking at 35,000 feet as our initial climb. Probably step climb up to around 37,000, 38,000 depending on the winds. We took with us today, let's see here, how much fuel did we put on board? 94,000 pounds of fuel to get us down to Dubai. So definitely more than enough to get us there. We're covering just over 3,100 nautical miles. All right, with that, we've crossed over 18,000 feet on our way to flight level 350. And we're going to go ahead and go to our intermission here in just a moment, and we will be back. And when we return, we will be on our descent into Dubai. Let's see what she wants. Oh, she's she wants to know if I want coffee already. I'm good for now. Thank you. Yes, we'll be on our descent into Dubai when we come back, and I'm excited. I'm really excited for this scenery. I want to check it out, and like I said, once we land, we'll do a little fly around the airport once we get to our gates, and we'll check it out. So, very excited for this flight, and I'll see you guys all on the flip side.
الطابع الشعري والعاطفي للأغنية دي ذكرتها، ولكن بأسلوب فريد يقع بطيء ونسيه، ولحن عاطفي نسختنا مكتوبة باللغة العربية الفصحى العامية البسيطة، ومناسب وناسب الأداء مزدوج بين مغني ومغني. دلع اللي خلينا نحكي عن الحب، عن الأحلام اللي ضاعت، عن الوجع اللي بيصحى والقلوب اللي ما طاعت. لما تغمض عيونك بشوفني ولا ماشية بأحلامك، بنطرها ريحة فيها ضوء.
خلي لا يمكن كون أنا الحلم اللي بيتحقق، كله عم بيقرب والليل عم يتفرى في نار حاجة ضو، كنت لحالي شمعة ما طلبت الشهرة، بس كنت دايما السمعة. ما بخاف من المواجهة، بخاف أخسر ذاتي، عم بشتغل بالصمت والسكوت لأختي المفضلة. بتحكي كتير طب فرجيني، أنا ما بشتري كذبي حتى لو لفوا هدى. ما بدر الكلام، أنا بشوف الأفعال، وإذا طحت رح أرجع أقوى، مش ضعف هذا احترام. عن الشوق اللي ما بينطفي، عن دقة بقلبك لما تشوفني وتختفي. أنا مش مثلك، ما بلعب أدوار، أنا الليلة بصير نجمة بنهلل غدار. هالليلة يمكن كون أنا الحلم اللي بيتحقق، كله عم بيقرب والليل عم يتفرق. في نار بقلبي ما بننطفي، والضوء كله ضوي علي مش عليك. ما بكيت تمثيل وما ضحيت عالفاضي، بعطي وقتي للي بفهم قلبي مش لمجرد عابر. أنا عشت كتير بس ما نسيت كيف الحلم ببلش بخطوة، وأنا خطوتي ثابتة. كل العيون علي، كل الضوء علي، أنا هون وما بخاف، لا شو تبهب بالي. تكون الليل بداية والكون كله عم يسمع غنايا. هل ترغب أن أكتب لك نفس هذه الأغنية بلا حجج الخليجية أو اللبنانية أو المغربية، وتحب نعملها بأسلوب أنشودة هادئة أو بتراب دريل؟
All right, hello everybody and welcome back. We are on our way into Dubai, currently coming up on 11,000 feet on our descent. We will be making our way into runway 30 left this afternoon. I've had a very nice flight here so far coming from London. We're coming up on 6 hours in our flight time since we left the gate over at London Heathrow. On our descent here, we're going to be making our way over the land for a little bit, and we're going to be vectoring back in towards the airport. The airport's actually going to be on our right here in just a moment here as we cross over land here. You're going to see the airport off to our right, and the Burj Khalifa should be just off to our right as well. So once we get visual of that, we'll zoom in on that and take a look. Let's just do a little look here. Oh, there, I see it right there. There it is. Perfect. Very cool. So this is default X-plane scenery that I am running. Obviously, if you have like map enhancement or anything like that, this is going to look a lot better. But I try to keep my sim running as vanilla as possible with all the other add-ons and everything that I am running, just for performance issues, and just kind of help it with that. So, but very cool. Got the Burj Khalifa in my sights. All right, so we are now under 10,000 feet. We are going to just kind of maintain our speed here. Lots of waypoints here on this final vector. So we really want to make sure that we're making our speed and altitude at these waypoints. So coming into Dubai, I've noticed that the vector in is going rather far out from the airport before they turned us back in. And I do believe that is just because of all of the air traffic that this region experiences. So look at the tallest building in the world. Very cool.
Emirates 38, contact center on 125.925.
And we're just going to keep our vertical descent here manual. I'm going to just kind of keep plugging it in here and making sure that the plane is following along. If you've been watching this series, I've mentioned multiple times that this plane sometimes has still some issues with following VNAV path, and not sure if it's a problem that other people have experienced, but it's just something that I'm very mindful of right now, especially in filming this series, that I want to make sure that our descents go well. And there's our airport right down there. There is Dubai Airport. All right, we're coming up on 6,000 feet. And you can see how we are still making our way out over the land. So again, I think the reason why they have such a long vector out, normally in America where I'm used to flying, usually about right here is where we'd start making our turn into the runway. But I do believe that with all the air traffic flying in and out of Dubai, it is just constant air traffic flow. And so they need to have these planes spaced out, and really what it's doing is just allowing these planes to not have to worry about going around or being put into holds. You can just basically fly this path, and then within there everyone flies at different speeds for that spacing purpose. And so we're just along that same type of route right now, that same sort of a vector in. So definitely different, and that's part of the reason why flying this series has been fun, just flying different parts of the world and seeing how things are done. Over in Europe, a lot of the arrivals are done kind of in like a snake pattern, which is very different to someone like me who flies in America and doesn't usually do approaches like that. Normally we're doing just like a dog leg in, or it's a straight in approach, and then you go over to Europe and you've got this like snake in approach, and you're just thinking, what in the world was with this? And then you come over here to the Middle East, and we are in a major city like Dubai, and instead of the snake in approach, we're just going to be doing a long drawn out descent and then turn vector into the runway. So yeah, it's definitely fun to see these different approaches and see how things are done differently throughout the world. All right, so we're going to start making our turn in towards the runway. We're landing on runway 30 left here today into Dubai. We're just going to have this slow, gradual turn here from one waypoint to the next.
Departure Emirates 149 Heavy, weight you passing 1,500. Emirates 149er Heavy.
Okay, we'll just keep fine-tuning our altitude.
Climb 4,000 direct Delta Bravo 570.
Just trying to get these numbers entered in the way I want. The click spots on these Flight Factor planes are a little tricky sometimes. They really do take some getting used to. If you fly like the Zebo or level up planes, you know, other Boeing aircraft, I definitely don't have that much of an issue, but I think it's just the way that Flight Factor does their click spots and everything. It's a little different. So nothing wrong with it. It's just you got to get used to it, and if you don't fly them quite often, you can sometimes get into situations where you're trying to dial something in quickly to get the plane to react, and it's sometimes a struggle to find that proper click spot. I noticed that on the 7.5 and 7.67 as well from Flight Factor. So you just got to get used to it, and just make sure that you kind of get used to the fact that you're going to probably struggle at first until you practice it a little bit and kind of feel out where those click spots are. All right, so we made that turn. We're going to be now in line with the runway. It's just far out in front of us. And in just a moment, let's see, we're going to be about 27 miles out from the runway yet. So definitely, like I said earlier, it's a far out vector approach. So we're going to be down here in just about 5 to 10 minutes, somewhere around there, as we just kind of slowly crawl our way back here towards the airport. Alright, so as we manually are continuing to bring the plane down, you can see on our PFD our descent bow right there. I'm not really sure what that is called in real life. I always just call it my descent bow. Probably not accurate. Real life pilots, if they're watching this, they're probably cringing right now, but basically what that's telling me is at the rate that we're descending and at the altitude I have set, that's where we will reach that altitude. So I'm just trying to match that with everything. And I see my winds here are not accurate. We got to get that in so we get our information. So let's go ahead and get that entered in right now here. So 280 at 21. The good news is it's going to be a 21 mile per hour headwind. It will not be a crosswind landing, so that's always good. We'll get our next speed dialed in here. I can't even imagine like the real world views coming into this city on this approach. Like, just imagine being these pilots in this seat coming into this amazing city and just seeing all of that off in the distance. And you know, here you're over deserts, and then all of a sudden this major city just comes into your view, and that's just got to be an absolute incredible thing to experience. I can't imagine a pilot would at all hate flying into here. Just thinking of what they see on this descent would be absolutely phenomenal. And even flying over, like, well, how we came in from over the water and saw everything from above 8,000 feet off in the distance with the Burj Khalifa and all that just off in the distance. Like, I just can't even imagine the view there.
Climb and maintain flight level 300.
Maintain flight level 300, DFL 361. Maintain flight level 300.
All right, so we are at 2,600 feet. We got flaps to 15. We see the runway out ahead of us. We are coming in, ladies and gentlemen, to Dubai. This has been an absolute phenomenal flight from London. Great weather the whole way. We had an amazing tailwind. We were going over 600 miles per hour at one point for like an hour straight, so we were able to really bleed off a lot of time on our flight. Really just couldn't ask for a much smoother flight. Much different from the one where we left from New York to London. We flew through that storm over Ireland, and that was a rough go. We had a lot of turbulence going into London, so it's been kind of a nice little break to have this smooth flight. And also, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget the airport we're flying into, Dubai. We're going to be checking out the scenery once we land. We'll taxi to the gate, and then we'll once like deboarding has started and everything, we'll go ahead and we'll kind of fly around the airport a little bit, and we'll check out this scenery that was placed in by Laminar Research in 2025. And from what I hear, it is phenomenal. I've seen pictures of it online. I've never flown into this airport. This is the moment, and you guys are going to experience it with me all for the first time. So I'm super excited to check it out. And for me, who runs my sim very vanilla, we'll go gear down. For me, who runs my sim very vanilla, it's always exciting to have some custom scenery put in and just experience that, because I don't usually have that. And even though X-Plane 12 sceneries for airports are very good, there's definitely a step up when it comes to these custom airports. All right, gear down. Our final landing rate is in, our landing speed, I should say, 145 has been entered. Flaps are to 20 degrees. And in just a moment, we'll be taking over, and we will be landing here into Dubai 30 right.
Emirates 654, contact departure.
Emirates 654, contact departure. Ground on 11835, station 090.
See the Burj Khalifa off to our left. Very, very neat.
Lufthansa 631, contact departure.
Departure, Lufthansa 631.
Alright, so we are lined up with 30 right. It's going to be our runway off to our right. We were initially given 30 left, but we have been asked to take 30 right, so we're going to take 30 right, and it is my airplane. A little rocky with those 25-mile-per-hour winds, but overall not too bad so far.
1,000.
Check. It's always fun flying into a runway that's kind of offset from the other, because you get to fly over the airport a little bit. It's kind of fun to see that type of approach.
Sky Dubai 2541, runway 30 right, hold short.
All right, 2 white, 2 red on the Pappy. We're looking good.
Negative, there's no A380 on runway, Sky Dubai 2541.
Looks like a little cargo area down below us.
500.
Cross check. Let's do 2 white, 2 red.
400.
3 red. We'll lift that nose up a little bit.
300. Approaching.
This looks
minimums.
incredible.
200.
2 white, 2 red.
Minimums.
Landing.
662, contact ground on 118.35.
Ground number 1835, Air France 662.
40. 30.
Good evening, Dubai Tower, Lufthansa 638, flight level 030.
Yeah, we'll start the flare.
020,
Ooh, alright, we're down.
capture the localizer.
Minus 379 on that landing.
30 left. Clear
I'll
to
take a
land
minus
for
300 any day in
Lufthansa
the 777. A little firmer than what I was kind of going for, but also just looking at this amazing scenery coming in here. Alright, we are below 80 knots. Reversers can be stowed. Switch over to manual braking. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll vacate off here to the left. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome down to Dubai. We have made it.
The local time is 4:09.
Fantastic.
4523. Good afternoon. Cleared of runway. Ready to taxi to the gate.
You now use your mobile devices.
American 4523, Dubai ground. Taxi to Concourse Brigade 260 via Mike 6, Mike Lima 4.
Alright, so landing lights can come off. We'll go up top here. We'll get this APU going.
Charlie 60 via Mike 6, Mike Lima 4.
That started. Very good.
4523.
Approaching 1, 2, right.
Wow, look at that tower. It looks incredible. Look at that terminal building, too. Oh. Sorry about that. Alright, so we're gonna, I think our gate's just right out up here to the left.
Ground Emirates 901, request pushback and engine start.
Emirates 3 Alpha Zulu, pushback and engine start approved. Please southeast.
Pushback engine.
Wow, look at this terminal, you guys. It looks absolutely phenomenal.
Emirates 901.
How cool is that? Alright, we'll get that APU bleed on. Alright, we'll go ahead and also clean up our flaps here. Wow, look at the scenery, you guys. This looks absolutely phenomenal. They did such a good job with this terminal building and everything. Look at those windows like that. That's just incredible. Now the inside is not The inside is not modeled. I think for performance reasons, of course, they could not do that with a default scenery. But boy, that would be incredible if they could make that happen somehow. All right, runway turn off lights can come off. Taxi lights can come off. Strobe light can come off. And we'll just go ahead and take our gate right here. Our American 777 pulling into Dubai. Probably the first ever American Airlines 777 to ever fly into Dubai. So we're making history here, everybody. Alright, we'll just try and get our line up here as best we can. There's a 777 line right there. Perfect. Alright, and with that, we'll set that parking brake. And let's get in touch here with the purser and grounds crew. Get our engines turned off.
Gate Alpha 6 requesting pushback
and we'll go up top here. We'll just get a last little bit of our lights configured here for the gate.
Pushback and engine start approved. Face southeast.
Alright, all looks good. Alright, very good. APU is running. We can go ahead and attach the jetway. And let's get in touch with our purser.
Listening.
Doors to manual mode, please.
Yes, sir. All disarmed and checked.
Alright, then the ground crew.
Hello, this is the captain speaking.
Good day, ready over here.
We are in need of some equipment.
Alright, so I'm going to just use this menu here rather than the FMC down there to order what we need. Just find it's a lot better. And then we'll go unload passengers, unload cargo, and catering. All looking good.
Please unload the catering from the plane.
Alright, we are good here. Nice, alright. We are all set. Alright guys, are you ready to check out this scenery? We're going to do a couple things here up top. Seatbelt signs can go off, and deboarding can go ahead and start. And let's see here, a couple of other things. I think we're okay. I think everything is looking good. All right, friends, are you ready to check out this scenery? This is going to be incredible. We're going to do a little bit of a fly around here. All right, so this is going to be, looks like the main terminal that we parked at. And then this over here, wow, okay, this looks like it might be the area where you drive up. Maybe you enter in over here. This is kind of cool. I'll just kind of do a little fly around. See how well they modeled all of this. Got train passing through, very cool. I would imagine that would probably be a passenger train only in real life and not a train like that, but who knows? You never know. Nice, got a little bit of a monument out front. Oh, we got our signage here for the airport. Very cool. Trying to keep the camera here as still as possible as they pan out this way. There's the Burj Khalifa overlooking our airport. Very nice. And as we pan, wow, very, very cool. So if you're tuning in and you don't fly X-Plane 12 or you don't really fly flight simulation, the reason why this is such a big deal is because the airports that just come default with the sceneries in the sim are not modeled like this. They're not modeled to the point where they're custom made. This is obviously taking the real world look of the Dubai International Airport and implementing it into the sim. And so this is a big deal for someone like me who doesn't fly with custom scenery ever. So for this to be in my simulator is kind of a big deal. So I wanted to showcase it a little bit. And this is one of our major stops here on Around the Globe 2026 to check out this scenery. And yeah, it definitely very cool. It does not disappoint. This tower is incredible. I can't imagine that thing probably is lit up probably really cool at night. And I just love like the asphalt, how it just all looks like fresh and new and everything. I may not be right about this, but I do want to say that Dubai went through a renovation not too long ago. So maybe it's kind of modeling that. But all right, very, very cool, friends. All right, and so with that, that is going to bring episode 9 of Around the Globe 2026 to an end. We have made it here. Our next flight, episode 10, we're going to be leaving Dubai. We are heading to Singapore, another part of the world that I have never flown into in my flight simming career, so I'm very excited for that. So until then, friends, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share this video. And if you're looking for other episodes of Around the Globe 2026, you can find them on the playlist on the Minnesota Sports Fan 88 Flight Sim page. And always you can go back and watch our entire journey to this point. So just a few flights to go. We have Singapore to Hong Kong to Tokyo, and then we'll be back where it all started, which was Seattle. So until then, friends, we'll see you at episode 10. See you then, and take care.